Greetings, salutations, and beyond Venue. This is Joe Bichetto here from Memory Card News for August 2nd, 2018. I'm still here, day 2 in San Francisco, but the news keeps on trucking. So let's hop right in. The top story today, Elon Musk adding Atari Classics to Tesla software, wants original games for car display. This comes from James Batchelor at gamesindustry.biz, and what a wild story. Elon Musk is really just becoming a meme at this point. But here's the thing. We don't need games in cars. You heard of texting and driving? Yeah, the government's not a big fan of that. I think this is weird. I feel like Elon Musk could definitely take on video game development and get into that industry and really do a lot of I don't know, good, if there is the right word, but neat and interesting things. But apparently he wants to put games in cars, which I think is real dumb, but that's coming in about 4 weeks. So if you have a Tesla, have fun playing Galga and don't die. NPD came out for June, and sales were up 25% across the board. This comes from IGN News. Funny enough, the highest selling console was the NES Classic. Not the Switch, not the PS4, the NES Classic. I think a big reason is they came back in stock. People were finally able to get them, myself included. And they also had a games breakdown. Mario Tennis Aces was the highest selling game, followed right behind God of War and Grand Theft Auto 5, weirdly enough. Still going strong, has now sold over 95 million copies. You know, we've always seen Grand Theft Auto 5 on this list, but the fact that it's up to third, pretty impressive, although it did just have the big GTA Online update, so that might have something to do with it. There's a lot of neat other tidbits. God of War is the PS4's fastest selling exclusive, things like that. So definitely check it out more if you want to get some nitty gritty number stuff. And now for the bad news. I have 3 stories talking about things closing. The first is Apple's new policy, which gets rid of their affiliate program. Specifically, so if you don't know, this affiliate program allowed third-party sites to kind of discover games, rate games, and tell people like, hey, these are the games on mobile devices you should get. Touch Arcade was the biggest one, typically, but there are some others. And Apple basically was like, no, discoverability is pretty fine in the App Store, so we're gonna handle it ourselves, and we're gonna stop paying you for it. And I think that's really kind of a bummer, because I think Touch Arcade catered to a more hardcore gaming audience, if I had to guess. And Apple is just going to cater to where the money's at, because, it's a business, of course they are. But I don't know, it's hard to see the use in that, but I understand that, there isn't probably a big enough demographic for Apple to pay this third party to get money out of them. It's probably not an investment they consider worthwhile. The next one comes from Game Rant. So GameStop Power Up Elite Pro program is shutting down. This isn't their Power Up Rewards full sale, but this is the Pro version, which just launched last September, so it hasn't even been on the market for a year. But that ended yesterday. Kind of like a surprise. If you have the program, it'll stay until it's supposed to expire, but you will no longer be able to renew it, and they are not selling new ones. This is kind of fits into this narrative. GameStop also confirmed they were in talks for a buyout, and that things are not really looking good for the company, mainly because, and we just talked about a couple days ago, 43% of all games sold on PS4 were digital, and like that secondhand market, which was their bread and butter in the pre-digital age, has now turned on them pretty much. So yeah, I guess bummer if you liked paying more money for games, but that one's generally okay in my books. Like they can go the way of the dodo, I suppose. And the final shutdown story is GameFly is shutting down its streaming service. As of August 31st, 2018, you will no longer be able to stream games to different media players or smart TVs. But you will still have their disc-based game rental system, which they've had for over 15 years now. This is kind of an interesting one to see because if I had to imagine, all these publishers are like, well, no, we're going to have our own proprietary streaming services like EA, like Microsoft have talked about. And they're like, we're just going to pull our titles and we're going to do it ourselves. So if I had to guess, also, who uses GameFly? That's another big thing. Like, it probably wasn't worth keeping the servers on. But anyways, our last story for the day is a Life is Strange 2 teaser trailer was dropped. Shows like dash cam footage of a cop rolling up. It's like, oh, gonna be back up, and then just gets launched. Like it's showing there's more like dynamic powers, I suppose. Looks like telepathy type of deal. And I think that's really interesting. It makes me wonder if this is going to be more of an action game. Even though that's not really in Dontnod's repertoire, but we'll see. And I haven't played the free prequel game, the Captain whatever game, but it seems like they are taking it like the whole powers and making that into the universe rather than making it a story about the characters from the first game, Max and Chloe. And I think that's an interesting call because I feel like what people really enjoyed were the characters and the personalities behind them and how they all interacted. And sure, the powers played into it, but I'm just not sure. Anyways, that's the way it was for August 2nd, 2018. My name is Joe Buscetto. I'm going to go exploring. Have a wonderful day.